Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is day I think ninth of 100 machine learning projects, and today we will be implementing a chatbot with sequence to sequence models using PyTorch. It's like teaching a computer to chat like your best friends. So we will break down sequence to sequence with fun analogies, explain why it's a big deal nowadays, and show you how to build a chatbot and dive deep into the code, especially the encoder and decoder model. And whether you are new to AI or a coding pro, this is for you. Hit the subscribe button, grab a snack, and let's get started. So before just diving into the sequence to sequence model and in the implementation part, I just want to understand like what is the star of our show. That is, what is sequence to sequence model? The sequence to sequence model or sec to sec model is like, imagine you are a translator in a lively market. Someone asks in Italian like Joel, like cafe, like something, and like what is. So you will think that he's asking for where the cafe is, but it's like where's the coffee. So you process the question in your head and reply in English. The cafe is around the corner. That's sequence to sequence. It takes one sequence of words like a question and transforms it into another like an answer. And picture sequence to sequence as a team of like master chefs. The encoder is like a chef who reads your order, says, "What's your name?" and jots down a quick note summarizing the key ingredients, like the main idea of the question. And the decoder, the second chef, takes that note and cooks up a response like, I am Rupal, like nice to meet you. So like one word at a time. So this is how it's going to be. Like there are two chefs that are very important to cover the whole conversation. So from the one chef, what you are doing, you are asking the question, what is your name? And that chef is writing the question down, understanding the question and making some assumptions like what the meaning of the question, and then sending it to the second chef. And then second chef will read that notes, not the question that you asked, but the read the notes that the chef one, the encoder, has provided, and then on the basis of those notes, it will be providing an output like, my name is Rupal, like my name is chef 2. And it might be like one word at a time, because it's not easy for a generation model. So encoder and decoder are like the base of a transformer model. Whenever you learn, so there are different type of NLP classification task, and on the basis of those encoders and models, there are different type of encoder tasks, there are different type of decoder tasks, and there are different types of encoder and decoder tasks. So for the encoder and decoder task, you also want generation, like sentence generation. So you want them to understand also what the question is, and on the basis of that question, you want them to generate an answer. So that involves us encoder as well as decoder, analysis. So this is how it's going to be. But here's the magic sauce, the attention mechanism. It's like a spotlight that helps the decoder focus on the right parts of the order. Like for example, like when answering what's your name, the spotlight shines on the name part. Like, okay, there is something to do with the name in the whole question. The main part is name, like what is the name, what is this place. So then place will be more important part. So the decoder will focus on that. So but how it will focus? So this attention mechanism helps the decoder to focus and to understand, like throughout, like through the whole sequence, which part of the sequence or the sequence of words is more important, and give a more meaning to the information. We can also this say that encoder provides the context of the information that is being asked, and the decoder uses this context and generates an answer on the basis of that. And it tells you everything, like encoder will tell you everything, like these are the like important important characteristics in that sequence of word. These are the positional encoding, this is how the sentence looked like. And the generator model, like the decoder, will look into that, understand the pattern, understand, apply its attention mechanism, and then generate its answer on the basis of that. So now when we talk about like sequence to sequence model, often use like something called LSTM, that is long short term memory network. Think of an LSTM as like a super smart notebook that remembers the order and meaning of the words in a sentence, unlike a regular notebook that might forget like earlier words. So an LSTM has special gates like a librarian deciding what to keep, what to toss. So it has like two gates, like forget gate and I think update gate. Yeah, so it can track the long sequence like a whole question that makes it perfect to understanding and generating sentences. So this is how like LSTM is very important, because at the end the models does not have their own memory. They don't have any memory where where they stay like under like saving those information. So for generation of test text and to understand what the question was and how their like what characters were important in that particular sequence of sentence, it might not even be a question, it might be just like hi, how are you. So hi, just a hi. So you have to understand that they have to remember some of the things, and on the basis of that also some positional encoding is also done, like how the sentence was like. If I'm asking what is your name, I'm not saying what is my name, I'm saying what is your name. So the where all the words were, in what sequence the words were. If I say your name is what, so what is your name, if I write it in this pattern like your name is what, then it changes the meaning. So to understand the context, to to retain the context, to retain the meaning of the particular question, LSTM is used, and it is very important technique, very important, like RNN model that lot of algorithms are using, and it is a very easy algorithm to implement, but you have to understand there are GRUs also with more, and like they are like computationally little bit expensive, but they have like better features. So because this is just a starting video, I'm just trying to make you understand how the things are, how the models are, and this is also being used in the LLM models that we generally use. So coming forward, like in I will be posting a video probably on the weekend, where I will post everything that how the question that you ask on ChatGPT, and how it processes and how it comes with an answer and how it everything. There are multiple platforms that does the same, but I'm going to use a very layman language so that it's easier for a larger audience to understand. So stay tuned for that as well. So together, the encoder, decoder, attention, and LSTMs work like a good dream, like a dream team, and turning your questions into answers with memory and focus. By the end, you will see how we used, like how we can use these techniques to build a chatbot that chats until you say like. For what I did, I made a stop statement for that. If I say stop, then only the sequence of questions stops. So it depends on you, because you are just starting. You don't have to go through like a big data set, train it, because you can also do that. If you want me to do that, I also have a running model. I will also save that, attach that the running model code with the same scenario. So this you can use for an understanding of the concepts, how to visualize that, how the things are going to understand and relate with the analogies, and relate the code with them. But if you want something little bit more complex, I can also share the code with you guys. So I also have like both kind of codes, but this is the code that we are going to study today. I am going to share today itself. So now we will see that why sequence to sequence models are important. So why are sequence to sequence models are like are important, or are so awesome? It's like let's so these are the conversational superstars. They power chatbots, like they are helping you track packages or answering questions on your phone, making tech feel more human. Multi-talented like sequence to sequence models drive translations app, summarize text, and even caption videos like a Swiss Army knife for language task or something. And AI building books, if you if you have a modern foundation, like okay, you have an idea, you can use it like a chat gpt and make them like making them key to learning AI. And if you want any questions regarding them, they will answer the questions. So these have the real world impact also on the customer support and even in the educational interactive, because a lot of students use now different LLM models to understand basic concepts. So it can help you. So it has the the basic general knowledge. So I just want to show you how these, on the base, like how these chatbots were made. This is a very basic code. As I'm saying this repeatedly, but if you want a very intensive code, the video might be long, but I will definitely share it with you over the weekend, when I will be like you know putting everything out there, that how LLM model, whatever you're using, Gemini and everything, is processes your questions, your inputs, and how it is like panned out to become an output. That's how I'm going to do that very soon. So before that, let's go into like, first, okay, we understood that how sequence to sequence chatbot is like sequence to sequence model is important, why it is important, what are LSTM, what are encoder and decoder. Now how, but how do we turn these sequence to sequence ideas into a chatbot that talks back? At the end, you want a chatbot, like if I ask a question, it should answer me back, like it should be like great. But so we will start with a little bit of blueprint before diving into the code, because sometimes what happens, while going through the code you understand, but if you get an idea of like what should be your thinking process when someone asks you, can you develop this? And this is a very important question, like it is asked like with different interviews also. So here you can share your ideas. Okay, this is how I'm going to go with this problem, or this is how I'm going to develop this. So this is just a blueprint, you can tweak anything, you can use this different data sets also. So it's like a recipe of how to make a sequence to sequence chat model, sorry, chatbot. So first we have to understand that crafting a vocabulary, like build a dictionary to turn words into numbers, like giving hello to number ID, and like add special tokens like for start and for end to mark the sentence. So this is also called a very this good term. This is like crafting a vocabulary. You have to understand, like machines don't understand your English words, even your CNN models. Every machine learning model does not work with your the language that you are doing. Everything is converted into numbers. So to provide those numbers, you have to craft a vocabulary, and this is also then on the basis of those vocabulary, your next input will be tokenized. You tokenized means like whenever you are giving an input, it will be converted into a string of numbers on the basis of the like what input you have provided, how the input looks like, and how your tokenization algorithm looks like. This is a very important step. And then on the basis of that, we will create the encoder and decoder. Like the encoder will take the numbers, and then it will see like summarize the user's question into compact note. The decoder, like a writer, uses the code to craft a response and attention mechanism to keeps the focus sharp, that okay, you're doing it nice, you are doing it correctly. The sentence formation is also good. If I say what is your name, you cannot say that okay, my Rupal is name. We cannot say that, right? So we have to make sure that the vocabulary is also correct. So this is how where the focus of a decoder comes into, like how it is generating. Is it following the same pattern that what we will see? And we will see it's a basic, and how the model is learning, how a tons of data set is provided to make sure that the sequence that it is being generated, because it's word by word. So because we will be using a very small data set, so it will be not generating very properly. But if you use a big data set, then it will be generating very nicely, but it will also take some lot of time to compute with different epochs, and then only after a while, and it is like it will take like 2 to 3 I think, yeah, 2 days. Like if you start in the afternoon, the next day you will be able to train the model. but because we are doing it slow, so we are moving with that. So for training the conversation, we will feed the model example like question answers, because you want to make a question answer like platform, like what's your name, so we can say that I'm Rupal, and let it learn over multiple rounds, like practicing a new skill. And how you teach up like a child, like okay, this is how we say, and then you say that your name is XYZ, and then on the basis of that the child learns. So this is how you are going to be training your model with the conversations. And then we will use like beam search. This is also a very basic search that is being used in these kind of technologies, but there are different kind of searches that you can use. So think of beam search as exploring multiple paths in a treasure hunt to find the best response, making answers like smoother and more natural, and making and this so this is very important, because we want to feel like okay, this is natural, this is smooth, the response is smooth, it's not like very robust, it should not sound like it depends on the question that what you are asking. And at the end, because it is going to be a chatbot, so I was hoping to create a loop to take user input, generate responses unless I am giving him the input as a stop, and add a memory trick to recall recent exchanges, like a friend who remembers your last chat. So this is also no. So for that we will use like PyTorch, LSTM, and some like clever coding to make this chatbot come alive. So let's dive into the code. So before this, let me share my screen for this. Okay, yeah, just a second. Okay, yeah, now it's better. So yeah. So yeah, okay. So this is the code that I will be going for. Like I will try to make you understand that what this code entails about. So for this, what we will do, we will just like roll and explore this tab PyTorch code that powers our chatbot. It's like you know understanding a robot to see how it thinks. So I will break it down step by step with extra detail on encoder and decoder, and since they are the heart of the sequence to sequence model, as we have seen, because they are the one who will be performing all the attention mechanism, taking the input and understand putting tokenizing it, and then using their attention mechanism to understand which of the like words are very important. So that's how we are going to do that. So let me just start with the libraries that we need. So we need PyTorch library that includes Torch, Torch.nn for neural networks, Torch.optim for optimization, Random and NumPy for utilities, and Re for text cleanup, Pad sequence for batching, because in a particular the sequence comes like in a particular when we are saying that hi, or when we are saying what is your name, when I'm saying okay, what is the distance between earth and Mars. So these are different length of the sequence. So what does like big LLM models do, they have a a pattern, like okay, these much tokens only we will take, or this much length of the question we only take. So if you're saying hi also, then there is a padding done, like with all the left on characters, like with a particular padding sequence, or so that everything is going in the like same format as we have seen, because this is very important. Like everything should be scaled or normalized and with same format to make models and learn easier. There it is easier to like for the models it is easier for them to interpret the input, the values, the variables, the features that we are talking about. So this is very important. Data loader for data handling, the heap queue for beam search, DQ for conversational memory, and a random seed is like setting the same starting point for a board game and ensuring consistent results. So these are those, and now we will do the vocabulary class. So this is the chatbot's dictionary. It's like a phone book mapping words to numbers. Like it starts with a special token, like pad for padding, SOS for start, EOS for end. UNK is for unknown word. Methods like add words, grow the dictionary sequence to indices. turns text into numbers. See, this is turning text into numbers is like sentence to indices, is like giving them, if you have a multiple of sentences, like okay, I am giving them a question. Okay, can you please generate can you please explain this sequence to sequence model, can you please explain. So there are 3 to 4 questions I have asked together. So there is a chance that it, if I am doing sentence to sentence tokenization, that means I am taking one sentence and I'm using that sentence as a one line of the tokenization. Then what it will do, it will give that sentence a format, a number, a index. So that is kind of a, it's a tokenization technique, that how a big set of input is divided into small things, and on the basis of those small inputs, each according to the vocabulary, how those words are divided into smaller things, and according to that only they are giving their numbers, their they're embed and tokenized, and then after that the embedding is done to understand that which word is more important. So this is important, this is the base, you have the starting point, how the LLM model learns or things, or like how it processes the input. And indices to sentence, reverse it, and like translating back from code, like so this is how this is. So this is the like vocabulary class, this is how it is going to word, sentence to sentence, index to index. So this is how it is going to be. And the text processing part, like function is like cleanup crew, lower casing text and removing punctuations, example like from hello exclamation mark to just hello, and make sure that h is smaller. This ensures the model sees consistent text, like standardizing ingredients before code. Like you have to, everything should be from the same scale, as I have already told you about this. So this is very important. So this is how the pre-processing is done. As you can see, this is the pre-processing task. And now we will work on the encoder, like like how to develop the encoder model. So what is this, like the encoder class is like a librarian who reads a question like what is your name, and summarizes into a concise note for the decoder, like here's like, and we will see how it does that. So there is an embedding layer, like he uses like nn dot embedding vocal size, you can see, and yeah, this is what will happen, like it will turn turn word indices that has been provided like before, converted the words into indices into 256 dimensional vector, like giving each word a unique, like profile, a unique profile. For example, the index for what becomes a vector capturing its meaning. So for example, if I say like throughout the vocabulary, I'm saying what will have the number 10. So this is like I'm giving him the value, like okay, 10 is the vector. So it is like that. What becomes a vector capturing its meaning. And then there comes the LSTM layer, like you using NL, like embedding dimension with 256, as we have said that it will go into 256 dimensional vectors like earlier. Hidden dimensional is 512. The layers are 2. The dropout is zero point 0.5. So dropout is like a regularization technique in which neurons, like if zero point 0.5 is there, like 5% of the mod, like 5% or 50% of the neurons will drop out, so that there is a non-linear linearity attached in the model. So make sure that it learns properly. So this is our like a regularization technique. And the LSTM is like a notebook with a very smart memory, tracking the order, the context of the words, example what your name. It has 2 layers for deeper understanding and 512 hidden units for rich details. And as I said, that dropout is like randomly, shutting, yeah, or skipping some notes, some neurons during training to avoid memorizing the book by heart. Because sometimes what happens that they will only learn from your vocabulary, from your questions that you provided. So when you are asking them, it is not able to generalize properly. This is one of the reasons, one of the ways where you want to avoid overfitting, so you can use the dropout technique. So this is also a very good regularization technique. And when it comes to the forward pass, take a sequence of indices like 15672. For start of the like SOS will be the start of the sequence before going to what's your name, and then there will be EOS, that is the end of the sequence. So these kind of indices or these kinds of tags are provided to them, which embeds them and feeds them to the LSTM. Outputs all hidden state like for attention and final hidden cells, and the context node summarizing the questions. So the encoder compresses the questions into a form of a decoder can use, like summarizing a story for a friend. Like there is a movie and you want to explain it to someone, so you have to watch the whole movie, but when you summarize you don't take 2 to 3 hours just talking, like telling every dialogue. You don't remember that much, but you remember the highlights of that, the important parts, and you tell them that okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. So this is how, like, this is a kind of like how the model works. So this is like very important. This is the thing that we talked about, that like in the encoded model, like how they are using, you can see the batch, the n layers, the dropout, and everything. Now we will move to the attention mechanism. So this is also very important. The attention mechanism class is like it's, you can think of that it like a tour guide, so helping the decoder focus on the keywords in the question. It like it combines the decoder's hidden state with encoder's output using a like a linear layer, applies an activation function on that. In this case we can see that the activation function is like 10h, I guess. Yeah, the activation function is 10h for attention layer, and and uh, and a soft mix and 10h functions, and then and computes weights with a learnable vector. So now what happened, there were vectors, there were a lot of vectors that were provided from the encoder. Now attention mechanism is going through those weights, going through those vectors and applying an attention mechanism technique in which they're applying an activation function, different kind of activation function, to compute weights with a learnable vector to understand the concept, like the context of that particular input. And the softmax turns them into probabilities, like highlighting name and what is your name, to guide them like response to guide the response Rupal. This is very important, like how this is coming through. So here you can see that this is the yeah, this is how it is going to this is done, and on the basis of that, this is softmax function. Softmax, the probabilities of the maximum uh, context is comes out that okay, that okay, what, where is India. So India will have the may like important part, like what is the capital of India, then capital and India will have the more probabilities. This is how they were converted into tokens, then tokens into vector embeddings into learnable vectors through attention mechanism. And through that it moves towards the softmax probabilities, and then it comes out like okay, India and capital is important. So this is how it is going to be, like it has like all the words with different probabilities, but this that's how softmax works, that we have already discussed in our previous videos. So before that, now we will move to the decoder like class is, like what it is and how we can understand. So think of the decoder is like a writer crafting a response, like a writer who is generating a response. Like I am Rupal, nice to meet you, welcome back to my channel, and like one word at a time, like it will be my name is Rupal. Like it will come first my, then name, then is, then Rupal. Nice to meet you. And one word at a time. So here is the like understanding of the code, like how it is doing. So what happens in the embedding layer, they convert the current words like state, like the embedding that you remember that we are doing the embedding, like end of sequence, start of sequence, or I am, into a 256 dimensional vector, like same like what encoder is doing, like stretching a word's meaning. And it will call the attention class to get weights to understand the context. So from here the decoder is getting the context from the attention layer to get the weights, focusing on relevant encoder outputs like name, capital, India, and create a context vector, because context is very important, and like context vector like a summary of what to focus on. So for what how this will happen, this also use the LSTM layer. It uses like it combines the embedded word and context vector like, and processes it within LSTM to update the cell states. The LSTM remembers the response progress, like knowing I am comes before like my will come before name, is will come before Rupal, and my name will come before is. So this is how it has to remember the the structure also. So this is where the LSTM helps at remembering the structure or the format or the vocabulary, that how the sentence or the response that you are generating should look like. So this is very important. And then the output layer, it will predict probabilities for the next word according to the, because I said that this is how because it is going to generate the response one by word. So first will come my, then it will generate a probability of what should be the next word, because there are so many words. So my, according to the question, according to the context vector, what it has done, it will try to generate the next word with the probability name. Then it will generate is, then it will generate Rupal as per like my LSTM model and everything. So this is how it is going to be. And for the forward pass, it just takes a single word index and encoder outputs, and outputs probability, updated states, and attention mechanism. This is how like how throughout the thing is works upon, and builds a response incrementally, like one by one, staying relevant to the question and with the help of attention mechanism is helping how to generate the context, and LSTM is helping to understand the generation structure. So this is very important. So this is how you can see the embedding the hidden state, how many dropout is there, linear dropout, and then it's learning, it is asking for the attention's output, attention weights, what it has learned, what was the output from there, and then it is generating the outputs from there. So this is like a good model you can say. So now we will discuss about the sequence to sequence model, like how to generate that. This is like the team manager combining encoder and decoder. The encoder processes the input, passing the context to the decoder. During training, the decoder uses teaching for like a teacher forcing to feed context words, like a coach giving hints, and and to understand, okay, this is how the next word. So this is just the training process. Okay, now you are telling them, okay, this is how it should look like, this is how it should look. But after 10 to 15 you will know, okay, this is how it should be looking like. So this is how the model learns using the encoder and decoder. And the main important thing is like here you can see that this is an important size, like batch size, target length, vocab size to source. This is how, and this is how they're calling the encoder and decoder, initializing and using those weights and defining the target. So when we come to the okay, chat data set, yeah, the data set and the chat data set is like the to like a recipe book with like 17 question answers. So I think I have those question answers. So these are the sample pairs. That I'm your hello, how are you? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. What's your name? I'm Rupal. Nice to meet you. So this is how it is. It is a lot of response. So I have just generated 15 questions for that for the training part, and converts them into indices with the padding like of the sentence, start of sequence, end of sequence, the data loader batches pairs like size 2, shuffles them, pads them for uniform processing. This is how like okay, yeah, this is how it is going. So this is the pre-processing part that is being done. This is how you are in end of sentence, like how the sentences are coming with with the padding of start of sequence and end of sequence. Then we will start with the training of the model. So the training function that it trains the 30 epochs, like practicing again and again on the same data set, to minimize the loss, which is cross entropy in this, with Adam optimizer decays teachers forcing like zero point 0.7 to zero point 0.3, like gradually removing training wheels Clips gradient to keep learning stable. So this is like very basic how you train that. So this is how it is done. Okay, this is the like to make sure that the learning is very stable. So this is to understand that. Now we will move to the beam search. Beam search is like exploring multiple trails, because whenever you are asking question, that doesn't mean like they have that written. Okay, it's not a hard coding scenario. You are trying to make your model learn how to generate answers using encoder and decoder. So this is not a hard coded question. You cannot just hard code all the questions with their response answers and just go through the dictionary and print the answers for that. So this is how the inference comes under, like the beam search inference. The beam search is like exploring multiple trails in a forest to find the best path to to go back to the home, to go back to the parking space. When I go to hike, I definitely want to reach back to the parking space as soon as possible. So the beam search is like exploring the multiple trails in a forest to find the best path. So uses like length normalization to favor complete sentences, and temperature is also important, like zero point 0.8 for creative, because you don't want right now I don't want my model to be very deterministic. So you can vary your temperature. When you want a very deterministic answer, very factual answer, then you can lower the temperature to like zero point 0.1 zero point 0.2. But as you increase your temperature, the creativity of the model increases. So I will give you an example for that. If you ask, okay, can you give me an idea regarding archaeologist movie, or can you give me a movie idea? You ask any LLM model, and if you're saying the temperature is the temperature is very less, so it will give you the same answer, that okay, let's make an archaeology movie, like I don't remember the name. Indiana Jones movie with some archaeologist with a whip and this. But it will not be that much creative, because that is the pattern. That is a very famous movie. So it will take from reference from them, and it is try to give you the same idea again and again. But when you increase the temperature towards the point 0.8, point 0.9, then it will start become creative, that okay, then there is this guy who was lost in a forest. He got a stick and moved forwards. So this is how the temperature of the model increases. It also for me it is like determining the characteristic, that what kind of characteristic of the LLM model that you want. Like if you want it to be creative, you want it to be deterministic. So this is how this is you can use the temperature parameter to to generate the answers as per your need, that I will say. Yeah. So post processes to remove the unknown words, the end of sentence, and the repetitions, and extends incomplete responses if needed. So this is the beam search. This is like it's previous words for words, like what words are there. It is saving those words also to understand the context and how to move forward, which one will be better, to understand the metrics. And then okay, if you're generating this, is this good enough? It is similar to the target variable that we are looking forward. So this is how. So these are just the vocabularies, information. So there is an interactive loop, you can see. So this is just nothing. This is the calling of the functions, the data set. I'm just providing them the data set with the padded sequence, what the optimizer, the variables. And I have also included a loop to make sure that till you answer the question how it looks like. And this is it. So we have, as you see, that we have just generated the like trained this model like for 15 question answers. So it is not going to be generating a very good answers, to be very honest, like because it's very less. And the epochs also I have not trained it very well, because it was a very large video. But this is how you can see that this training, it is teaching forcing is also like decreasing, and losses also you can see that sometimes it increase, sometimes it's not, because it's very generic, but it is decreasing gradually. So let's just wait for a couple of times, and then I think I put epoch 20 or 25 only. I don't remember how much epochs I need. Okay. I think 30 was there. Okay, so if I say hi, like I just said that, okay, I'm Rubal. Nice to meet you. It's just hi. It's good. Okay, who are you? I am from the digital realm created. Okay, so this is like a chatbot. Chatbot, you can say. Okay, let me ask some questions. Do you know me? Let me see that if he knows me. See, for this, it is not okay. It is not giving anything. Okay, how are you? Let's ask him that. I'm timeless. But see, there is some because the generation has stopped. So it is still trying to learn, but it might not be because it is not born, right? The LLM model, the encoder and decoder is not born yet. So so it has just stopped that. But I was born. I'm timeless, but I was born. Like if you say it is timeless, then how you were born. So this is how it is going to be. It is, and when I say stop, it will stop. Okay, goodbye. Thanks for chatting. So this is how you can, build a sequence to sequence chatbot using PyTorch, like from concept to code. This is like how the whole things moves towards, from an idea, what things that we need, how we can implement that, and what are the basic needs, like from inputting, then how the tokenization is done, what vectors are there, and then context vectors from encoder to the attention mechanism, then to the decoder, then to the generation, then when you are asking question how which kind of search is also important, so beam search is there. So this is a very important, like the encoder, the decoder, like powered by LSTMs are like very good, like turning questions into answers. So you can you could use this code and try to run it on your laptops. And if you want to tweak it, you want to add the more data set, so there is one Cornell movie data set. So it has like it is a very big, very important data set in our field. So for the Cornell, like for question answers, for to make model understand how to generate this, you can use that data set. But I will warn you like that if you want to do that, make sure that you have a lot of space in your laptops, and make sure that you have time, because it will take a lot of time to to process the this big of a data set. So make sure that you have time, you have that patience, and then move forward towards this. But like this is it for now. I hope you like this video, and I hope you really enjoyed it. And I will be posting very soon, hopefully on the weekend, the whole thing that how LLM models read your input, read your questions, process the whole thing, because I have covered like encoder, decoder, and lot of things. So I will be processing the whole the truth throughout the video, and then posting it on YouTube, probably on the weekends. So that was it from my side. Thank you so much. Please like that button and subscribe. Please like this video, and if you want any more context, like more complex things, if you want a particular concept that you want to understand, if you want, I can make a definitely a separate video from these projects, and that we can talk about, we can make them understand. If you want a live section also, I can do that. If you want to just reach out to me on this, I will also be providing my email also. If you want to email me, if you want to send a message or something, that would be great. So this is a very good project. Try to implement this, but make sure that you understand the throughout the you understand the concept. And I hope these like real world analogies help you retain them in your, it makes you more relatable and makes you understand the concepts better. So that was it from my side. Thank you so much. Hopefully you have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye. That was it. Bye bye.